We're pumped.
We're pumped.
Yep.
It's going to be a great episode.
Just got back from Top Golf.
We did. It was my first time. It was lovely.
Lovely. It was freaking awesome. We played Angry Birds.
Use your ball as the Angry Bird and knock down structures. It was very cool. It was a very cool AR experience. I enjoyed myself very immensely.
I did too.
With friends. And now that it's warm out, we can do things like that.
Oh, I know. It rains all this week though, but it's fine.
I'm fine with the rain.
Rains on St. Patrick's Day.
I never cared about St. Patrick's Day, to be honest with you.
Well, I'm getting drunk.
You're getting crunky?
Yeah, I am.
That's good. You ready to start the show?
Yes.
All right. Hello and welcome to the Strive Nation podcast, the podcast where we talk about the daily monotony of our lives. But that's okay because sometimes that's what you need in this crazy world. My name is Cory, Estreen, and I'm joined with my constant co-host, Taylor Huff. Taylor, how are you doing today?
I didn't pick a word for today, so I'm going to stick with good old fantastic.
Good old fantastic.
Yes.
Awesome. This is episode 6.
Of season 2. Already. Here we are.
But before we start, make sure that you're going and following, liking, and subscribing on all of our socials. That's Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Strive Nation Pod, as well as checking us out on YouTube because we have live premieres every other Wednesday for you guys.
Yeah, in the comments section, talking to ya, chatting it up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And today we have our second movie review, our Strive Nation Movie Club. We will be reviewing The Social Dilemma on Netflix.
So make sure you watch it. It's very good.
Yeah, before you get any farther, go watch it and then come back and listen to this. But first,
Upvotes and downvotes.
upvotes and downvotes. Do you want to go first?
I can go first. My upvote is getting in shape. I talked about it on an earlier episode. It was one of my New Year's resolutions to get in shape. And I've been doing pretty good. I'm down a couple lbs and I'm feeling great for summer. So that's my upvote.
Couple LBs should be in tip-top shape for that beach bod.
Oh, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's exciting. I'm proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
I love it.
No donuts.
No donuts.
No donuts for me.
I know.
Got that bikini shape. No, this is what I do anytime I want. This is not a healthy thing. Do not follow me. But anytime I want sugary things like a donut or a cake, I look at a picture of myself skinny and I say, no, skinny Taylor doesn't need a donut. And then I'm fine.
Yeah, see, if I did that and I was like, oh, look at myself as skinnier than I am, I would look like I'm anorexic and I'd be like, oh, you're disgusting, stop.
Well, we're two very different body types.
Yeah. I would have to like look at myself as really fat and I don't have one of those either, so.
Well, let's put you in a fat suit.
You're right.
But what's your upvote this week?
My upvote is I finally, after a year and 3 months, went to get my beard trimmed. Mm-hmm. My Viking beard, my one and only. I'll never shave it. She did such a good job.
You look sharp.
I look sharp. It's trimmed. It's not so like wonky with all the hairs all over the place everywhere. It looks good. I like it. She shaped it. She kind of did a circular shape down towards the bottom. Mm-hmm. It just fits. You know, it elongates my face, you know. You
look good.
Yeah, I think I look nice and spiffy.
She gave you beer?
She did. I had free beer on top of it, and it was a great price. I enjoyed myself immensely.
Self-care, man. It feels good.
Self-care. I should do this more often to myself. I deserve it.
You should. I treat myself all the time.
Yeah.
Like 3 times this week. But
but women do that, though. Guys don't need that kind of maintenance, you know? We're just like, rub some mud on it. I look good.
Rub some mud on it?
Yeah, you know? Rub some dirt on it.
That's what you do to look good?
I mean, yeah, guys look good. You know, when... Like, girls always think guys look hot when they're working out and they look all strong and their muscles are bulging.
That's true.
Yeah, see? It doesn't matter. Guys don't give a shit. Girls need to go in and get your hair and your makeup and eyelashes and bikini waxes and what else
nails.
You do and nails. Jesus, that's a lot.
I know. It's a lot of upkeep.
It is what it is, though.
Worth it.
The males can only be the sexy billiard ducks that we are.
Very true. Very true.
All right. What is your downvote for this week?
So my downvote, speaking of getting in shape, I went to my first dance class in a year. Because of COVID. We obviously couldn't be in person. So I went to class, had a ton of fun, and then I couldn't walk afterwards. One leg, I had a bunch of bruises, and then the other one hurt really, really, really bad. Turns out I had a strained quad, so I couldn't work out for a week. And I kind of just hobbled around everywhere.
That's because you, like, rolled on your knees while doing these techniques.
No, that's not where my quad is, though. A quad is on the top half of your thigh. So, like, if you're in a heels class where you're, like, dropping it low, real low, it's, like, stretching those muscles. And I went down on the last time of doing the routine. I went, bam, down. And then all of a sudden I felt it pop. And then I kind of just rolled and wanted to cry.
Well, that sounds horrible.
Yeah, but I'm better now. No more bruises.
Wasn't your bruises, your knee all bruised too from rolling them on the concrete and stuff too, though?
That was on the other leg.
Oh, jeez.
So one leg was covered in bruises, and then the other one, it was internally.
Oh,
I was just a mess. It's fine. Better now. Will I go to class next week? Absolutely. Will I hurt myself again? Probably. It's worth it.
Well, that's settled.
Yeah. What's your downvote?
My downvote is that we are not watching Bachelor anymore.
Yeah, shared downvote.
No Bachelor franchise. We're sick of the virtue signaling, and we're sick of these companies bowing to the mob and everything that they supposedly desire. Yeah.
Chris Harrison's gone, so we're gone.
Chris Harrison is gone. The woke mob destroyed him. He is no longer the host of the Bachelor franchise. And we're kind of sick of, all the virtue signaling that goes with it. Mm-hmm. Not interested, guys.
Yeah. It's not about, like, people finding love anymore. It's about how much drama they can create and how much, like, political agendas they can cram down your throat. And the cattiness, we're just not about it.
Yeah,
Don't need it.
We're just over it. Maybe someday when all of these people, when all of the bystanders, you citizens, take accountability for what they're doing, or have them take accountability for what they're doing, maybe things will change. But until then, someone's got to stand up for what's right.
And that's us.
And that's us. Correct.
Should we get into the show?
Yes, without further ado, we have your review, your second review of the movie club on The Social Dilemma. What did you think of it?
It's really scary.
Yeah.
Watching it is very disturbing. Mostly because I know I'm on my phone too much. I know I'm on social media too much. So watching a movie about it and then looking at my phone afterwards was very scary.
Right.
But I learned a lot. And I'm better for watching it.
Right, I think so. If you make active changes to make improvements to your life, mm-hmm. I think you can come out with a good message.
Yeah. No, it's a really good movie. I think it's really important for everyone to watch.
Right.
What did you think?
I mean, it's enlightening. I don't know, like, I can say I enjoyed it, but it's not like, enjoyment, like this was thoroughly entertaining. It was more of like interesting and educational on the things that happen to you without you knowing.
You learned a lot.
Right. Like, I mean, I knew that they were doing this to people, but I didn't know on the magnitude and how it affects you on, like, a very, like, minute level. Mm-hmm. And then you see them doing it and talking about it, and you're like, oh, shit.
like, this is
what
bad.
The hell? This is bad. This is very bad, people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, for those of you who don't know what The Social Dilemma is on Netflix, it is an American docudrama that goes into depth on how social media's design is meant to nurture an addiction, manipulate its use in politics, and spread conspiracy theories such as, we'll get into it, Pizzagate, and aiding groups such as the Flat Earthers. The film also examines the serious issue of social media's effect on mental health, especially that of teens.
Oh yeah, big time into teens. And they talk all about that. And we'll dive into all these topics more. The people it follows mostly is Tristan Harris. All of these people are also former Silicon Valley employees. They're all former social media employees. None of them work in that field anymore. They're all like, not rejects, but they all left.
I like to call them dissenters.
Oh, that's a good word.
Yeah, they're like dissenters, and it's basically of the big three, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
And Google.
Google, and you also have TikTok is new, but like,
yeah,
most of them are from those 5 big tech companies.
Yeah, so Tristan Harris, this is really his brainchild. He's from Google. He was on the Gmail team for creating Gmail, which is just crazy to think about. People created that. But yeah, he was at Google. He realized what they were doing is unethical and they were making things more addictive, and he was just not interested in it. He was like, what about the kids? Like, this is not good. And also Jaron Lanier. I can't say his name. I just called him the weird guy.
Yeah, I mean, he looks really weird. He has also got, like, dreads as a white dude.
He's very hippie. Like, you'll know who we're talking about when you watch it. You'll be like, oh, that's who.
He looks like a rat. Like, if a rat crawled out of the sewer and he looked like a human, that's Jaron Lanier.
Yeah, but he's the author of 10 Arguments for Deleting Your Social Media Accounts Right Now. And he hasn't worked for any of these companies. So he was kind of like the nice outside voice that shows, like, this is what these crazy people are doing to you. He's kind of crazy. But I really liked a lot of the things he said. And yeah, a lot of the people, there's a good healthy mix of different, like, director of product at Twitter. There was different, like, ad agency VPs on here. There's professors. There's doctorate.
Yeah, early investors of the social medias.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was a wide range of people who all showed their different versions of how they felt like they contributed to this, like, negative thing.
Yeah, and we'll get into the positive and negative uses of it. And they talk about it extensively too. But basically, the entire docudrama was a collective retelling on all these people's accounts of, like, how they contributed to the growth of these social medias.
Yeah.
And the effects it has on their constituents.
Mm-hmm. What I thought was really interesting is they were talking about all the different tactics that social media uses. And you know what these are. Like, we've all heard of, like, the endless scroll. But hearing these people talk about it and then explaining why they invented it like that, it's like, oh, that's, like, really scary. Advertisers are paying for your attention. It's almost, I love the visuals that they used in this movie. It's these 3 different controllers of this one human avatar, and this one is for the advertisers, and he's like, oh, we're putting a bid, and they're bidding your time to different advertising agencies for you to see an ad pop up. It's really cool how they showed it, like the visual aspect of it.
Right. It's like kind of like the man behind the curtain, like what goes on behind the curtain that you would never have guessed in order to get to keep you addicted or to grab your attention even when you're not on the phone, to get you back to the phone, to get you back to the device to use their platform.
Yeah, like the endless scroll, how you never have to wait for it to load at the bottom. That's more addictive than the slot machines in Vegas.
Right.
Which is crazy. Like, we don't think about it. We just think, oh, we can just keep scrolling. But it's designed for you to keep scrolling to become addicted to it. Or when you pull down to refresh, they said they mimicked that off of slot machines. How you pull down the tab and you know how it starts ringing, like, through when you pull the tab on there. And sometimes you get something, like sometimes it refreshes and you get more information, sometimes it doesn't. They invented it like that to be hit or miss. So you're constantly pulling it and doing that motion and you don't even realize it. It becomes, like, habitual to
like
you.
This positive feedback loop. You pull it, you get something. You pull it, you get something. And then it feeds back to itself.
Yeah.
Where, like, you could be sitting there for hours. And you've all have done this. Trust me. Don't lie to yourselves. I know that you've done it. You've pulled on your freaking Facebook tab, just waiting for more to load, only to sit there for another 5 hours.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yep, it's dangerous, guys. It is dangerous. But yeah, so they get into other things. Like, they talk about how in order to establish these algorithms, they have their companies actually go out and study magicians and figure out how the human mind is vulnerable to manipulation, so that they could replicate it for their algorithms to automatically process to get you to view content that they think would draw you in further and keep you there.
Well, a lot of these heads of these tech companies that helped design all these companies, they all went to the same school. They all studied at the Stanford Persuasion Lab, and that was all about psychology and building those psychology tactics into the technology. Like Tristan Harris, he went to it. A bunch of the VPs from Twitter and Pinterest and Instagram, all of these big players that developed this technology all studied there, which is crazy. Like, they all studied magicians, and then they all studied heavily in psychology and learned how the brain works to then put it into tech.
Do you think it's a circumstantial or a coincidence that all these people ended up at big heads of their tech companies, all in the top 5, whatever, currently biggest tech companies in the world? Do you think it's a coincidence that they all went to the same college?
No, I don't think so. Because, I mean, that Persuasion Tech Lab, that's literally what it was designed for you to learn psychology to build into technology. So, like, obviously they're going to go take those courses and then use it to build these platforms.
Right. They were sent there already to learn this, you mean? From the companies themselves? Or
No,
they went there beforehand?
They went there beforehand
right.
and knew that they wanted to build these not addictive, but they knew they wanted to build these social media platforms and trick it with human psychology.
Right. It's like at what point, how addictive can it be before it becomes detrimental even to the way you're giving the product out to people? Mm-hmm. It's like they even learned like, hey, this is great that we have so many people on this product and that we kind of addicted them. But then it's to get to the point where like, oh crap, like this is bad. Like how bad what are we doing to people?
And I don't think they went out there with the intention to make it like that. I think for them, they went through these courses, learned all these things, and they're like, oh shoot, like what can we put into our technology now to test it? Like they this one guy's giving an interview and then the camera guy goes, oh, I feel like a lab rat. And the person who's getting interviewed, he's like, well, you should. You are a lab rat. And it's like, oh man. But that is what it is. Like they went to this school and then were in these social media platform businesses and they thought it was cool. Like, oh, let's roll out all these different small changes and see what people like and what people don't like. Like it wasn't meant to be manipulative. Well, it is meant to be manipulative, but it wasn't meant to be this like terrible thing. It was like, we want to try and give these people the best thing possible. And then I think it honestly just spiraled and they lost control of it.
Right. That makes a lot of sense.
What I thought was crazy is that the algorithms can tell what your personality type is. So based on like the people you're friends with, how you interact with posts, they can tell if you're an introvert, if you're an extrovert. They said that they can see when you're going on like an ex-boyfriend or girlfriend's Facebook page that triggers the algorithm to thinking that you're probably lonely. That's just wild to me.
Yeah.
Then an algorithm can be like, oh, this person's lonely right now. Like that a computer can say that.
Yeah, that's scary stuff, guys. I mean, because if you think about it, the computer knows, like the algorithm knows that you were previously matched up for or linked to like a significant other, like because of the whole relationship
being documented on social media.
Being documented as having a relationship with a specific someone, and then it logs your time looking at those person's photos. Like straight up, as you're scrolling, if you hover over their photos, it logs that time, takes that time, and realizes that the average is higher than normal, and will feed you more of that product so that to keep you on. Like they know that they're feeling lonely.
Yeah.
It is crazy, guys.
I didn't know that they captured the time that you looked at something. I don't know why. I just assumed that was definitely not a thing.
Yeah, like how would they do that kind of thing?
Yeah. I was like, how do they know what I'm looking at?
Yeah, it's like, how do they know that I'm looking at, whatever for 5 minutes? Like.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Yeah. Oh, the catering content is pretty nuts too. On how, like, going into personality type, if they know that you're, like, more conservative or more liberal, like, they cater news stories to how you view the world.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that is crazy. Like, climate change, like, if you're a climate change denier, they will feed you climate change denial articles.
And also things similar to that, too.
Right.
Like, if you say you don't believe in climate change, they'll tweak that a little bit and be like, okay, we'll give him more of this. But maybe if he doesn't believe in climate change, maybe he's also, like, anti-vaccine. And they'll try, like, slipping all of that stuff in, too.
Right.
Like, they start tweaking it just a little bit.
Yeah, and then it leads you down a rabbit hole of, like, oh, all this stuff that you're kind of interested about, but, like, you never really thought of. Mm-hmm. So they can keep you on their platform. I think that's how it feeds into tagging and liking, like, posts and photos as well. If you're not tagged, like they show this in the actual film, when you're not tagged into something, how they use the tagging feature to draw you back into the platform because you weren't previously tagged. Like if someone tags you, they notify you.
Yeah, you get a notification saying you've been tagged in a photo, but the notification doesn't have the picture in it.
Right. So you have to open it up and look at the picture, like visually, before you can,
Which is crazy because you think it would be more efficient to just have the picture pop up with the notification or pop up with the email. But they purposely don't put it in there, so you have to get back onto the platform.
Right, so you have to go back on the platform. That's crazy. Same thing with liking. It's like the algorithms. Something I learned on YouTube that they do is like liking heavily influences the algorithm. Mm-hmm. So if you're liking videos, that person's video will show up far more than, for example, even being watched, depending on how many likes the video has.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like subscriptions don't mean a whole lot on Facebook anymore. It's more about how like the time frame of the video as well as how much the video is liked.
Yeah.
It is crazy.
Well, that's exactly how TikTok is too. Like anyone who has TikTok, you'll be like, "Oh, what TikTok are you on?" Like we're all on the same map, but we're all in different algorithms of TikTok. So I'll like go up to them and be like, "What TikTok are you on right now?" They'll be like, "Oh, I'm on fashion TikTok and food TikTok and then this TikTok." And it's the different algorithms that are built into their custom feed strictly based off of like how long they watch the video, if they watch it fully or if they rewatch it or if they DM it to someone and then them liking it. Like, yes, you can follow creators on TikTok, but that really has nothing to do for it. You only look at your For You page that's generated by these algorithms, and it's all because you were liking different things.
I thought this was really weird. It's like when you and your sisters were talking about it.
Oh, yeah.
Like the different TikToks. What was it? It was like, oh, I'm on straight TikTok, or I'm on millennial TikTok.
Yeah.
Or old person TikTok. Like, what is that?
Yeah. Okay. So my TikTok right now is probably fashion, which is just like how to style different outfits, how to build wardrobes, or like how to style people. And then my other TikTok is food TikTok. So there's different versions of food TikTok as well. So the food TikTok I'm on is more like professional chefs showing you how to make like standard things. And then I'm on old person TikTok, which is like millennial TikTok, which is honestly people just my age, like dancing to like old, like early 2000s music or bringing back like old trends. It's so stupid, but it's like, it's what the kids call old person TikTok. Oh, I'm on workout TikTok right now, but specifically workout TikTok for legs and glutes.
Very nice.
And that's all I see. It's so weird.
And I am the TikTok rebellion. I will never have a TikTok.
Honestly,
ladies and gentlemen,
yeah.
Never happen.
I like to, okay, I have a love-hate relationship with TikTok because I really like it and I find it entertaining and enjoyable. But at the same time, it's like, it takes up so much of my time and I know that. I'm working on it. It's just extremely addictive. I'll sit there for like 5 hours if I could.
Yeah.
I don't anymore. But yeah, the whole tagging and liking thing, like it's all strategic. They didn't just do that by accident.
Hundo %.
Yeah, I loved that they talked about the political polarization in the movie because it's something everyone always talks about, like the 2016 election, like did Russia have something to do with it? The 2020 election, like every election we've had in the past couple of years, people constantly bringing up if it was manipulated by outside parties. And they brought up an amazing example of Myanmar. In Myanmar, when you buy a phone, the shop owner downloads Facebook for you and helps you create up an account. Like that's just like a normal thing there. So people there, when they think of the internet, they're not thinking of like Google Chrome or like Firefox. They think of Facebook. Like that's what they think of internet. And what was happening was that there were people using like the different ad functions on Facebook to push out these anti-Muslim ads. Is all these bad actors using Facebook's normal tools for what it wasn't supposed to be. Like they're twisting it and manipulating people into believing that Muslim people shouldn't be alive. And then it was, people were going out there and killing other people. Like it caused mass genocide, which is insane to think that people looked at Facebook and saw content on there and they're like, yeah, I'm going to go kill this Muslim person.
Right.
Because
it's like
Facebook.
Yeah, well, because the app was pre-installed on their phones, And then the government and other third
Uh-huh.
party could use it to propagandize whatever agenda they needed to.
Yeah, for very, very, very cheaply too.
Well, right. It's free basically.
Yeah,
I mean,
free with
virtually
posts
free.
and all that, and then
Yeah.
ads. I mean, ads don't cost that much on Facebook.
To do what they needed to, it's virtually nothing.
Yeah,
Right.
and bots. It's crazy. I mean, obviously, Facebook didn't create their platform to be used like that, but you had those tools out there, and people just figured out how to manipulate those tools into getting what they wanted. I think that's a great example of how social media can be a very, very bad impact on the world.
Your own viewpoint, and it's hard to get out of that viewpoint, like your own echo chamber.
Yeah.
Because your specific newsfeed on all of these platforms specialize to exactly what you like to see. Your own views, your own interests, etc. And you don't have to see anything that you don't want to.
No.
If you don't agree with something, just unfollow it.
Yeah, they make it's so easy. I think that happened a lot. I mean, I'll admit, during the 2020 election, I saw people saying stuff that I really disagreed with, and I would just, I'm snooze for 30 days. I don't have to see their post for 30 days. Or I don't follow news media outlets that I disagree with. So I don't see any of that side of the news that I don't want to see.
Well, and part of it I understand completely, because it's not like you can have a healthy conversation with someone over Facebook anyways, because there's a disinhibition effect that happens where if you try to talk with someone on Facebook, you don't see them face to face. You don't know their intonation, you don't know their intent. Mm-hmm. So having a conversation, it's like, do you really expect to change their mind, or do they really expect to change your mind? Then why even have a conversation? It's more about winning the conversation than it is about having healthy discussion then.
Yeah, you're not having a healthy debate and trying to find common ground with someone on Facebook or Twitter. It's how can I destroy them?
Right. Because it's like this self-gratification thing that you know what you're talking about, or you know that you're right and you won. It's like instant gratification, something that's happening with people's, attention spans on having discussions on Facebook about these topics.
Yeah. Well, so you're not sitting in front of them. Like, you're sitting behind a screen. So you're going to say things also that you would never say in real life to a person.
Right.
Like, I wouldn't look at you and call you a Nazi to your face.
Right.
But on Facebook, I'm just staring at a screen, and that's a lot easier to do and say.
Yeah, it's like people are almost failing to even view the other person as a human being. Instead, they're viewing them as some sort of computer that they don't have to look at or interact. Yeah, there's no repercussions at all. Yeah. That leads more people to believe that they have their own facts. And it doesn't matter what the truth is. If you have your own truth, it doesn't matter what other truths are, because your truth is the truth, apparently. Mm-hmm. When obviously that's not true. It's like, whatever happened to getting like actual facts, going out and doing your research, and then finding out that what you previously knew isn't correct.
Yeah.
Well, whatever happened to that?
I don't know. And it's not like these tech companies can go out there and weed out like anything that's false. How does a computer know what's false and what isn't?
Well, it's not their job to either. And that's what you're running into Facebook and Twitter and all these places doing their own fact checks, with half the time the fact checks are contextual based anyways. It's like, fact check. I'm like, you didn't actually fact check it. You actually prove what I said right. You just gave a different opinion. That's not a fact check then.
Yeah.
Like, how about you just decide whether you're a publisher or a platform then? Mm-hmm. Like, if you're going to determine what people say, then you're a publisher. If you don't want that, then you have to be a platform. Like, you have to choose. You can't be both.
Yeah. And right now they're
both. Which is the problem that you're seeing, all these conservative outlets being, banned and suspended and everything else. It's kind of they're getting their teeth kicked in a little bit.
Yeah. Well, and what was happening with the Senate hearings too, when Trump was still president, having the Senate hearings with all of those big platform presidents and asking them like, what are you doing about your platform? Like, what is going on here? All these senators are so confused, and then also concerned for their own constituents, being like, they're getting all this fake news. Because fake news spreads 6 times faster than true news. It's weird.
Yeah, think about that. Mainly because negative news spreads faster than positive news as well.
Well, it's all about clickbait.
Right, it's all clickbait.
So how do you figure out the truth?
Well, yeah, right. Because as soon as you click on something, it's like You're clicking on it because you believe that you're going to find something that is the truth, when in fact it is not. But every time you come across something, you automatically overwrite the last thing that you thought, and now this is the truth. And if it spreads faster, the chances of you actually coming into contact with something that's false is more prevalent than the truth itself.
Well, especially when you click on the article and then the platform sees it, you clicked on the article with that title, so it gives you more articles similar to that one.
Right, and then it gets even worse. Then you get in a rabbit hole of things that aren't true.
Yeah, and that's how conspiracy theories spread on the internet.
Right, and then you build echo chambers with other people that think the exact same way, and then seeing the truth is almost impossible because you're not willing to have an open mind.
Oh, this is really
Bro.
Oh, we just made it sound like the world was ending.
Bro, though, that's exactly...
And then this, and then this, and then this.
You know, to be honest, though, we need to stay up and be overtired more often.
Really?
To have these conversations. Because I don't think we've ever spoken this smart about something.
I know. We sound freaking intelligent,
Now we
man.
just sound BAMF people.
Yeah. Back to what I was saying.
Conspiracy theorists, right?
Yeah. Spread so quickly on the internet. I had no idea what Pizzagate was until a movie told us about it. Did you know what that was?
No, when I think pizza, I don't think about, children.
Well, Cory just thinks about pepperoni, cheese, Italian sausage, hand toss.
Feeding my gut.
Yeah, a pizza a day keeps the doctor away for him.
Right, exactly. She understands me.
I do. But yeah, so I didn't know what Pizzagate was until they were talking about it in the film. But Pizzagate is this conspiracy theory that started on the internet. Some random person just made it up and then it spread like wildfire. So what it was that people had said that if you called and ordered a pizza, that was you calling and ordering a child.
Right, like they were using these pizza companies to sex traffic children.
Human traffic people.
Right.
Yeah, and it spread so much that this guy showed up at a pizza restaurant with a gun and the cops got called and they're like, "Why are you here?" He's like, "The children, making sure nothing's going on." And the one cop's like, "What is he talking about?" And the other one's like, "Oh, he's talking about Pizzagate. He thinks it's a real thing."
They just believe that conspiracies are real. And they get so encapsulated in the actual story itself that they believe these things are real. Which, who knows? Maybe some of them are, but I guess you would never know,
Yeah. Well, and what they see is the algorithm sees that you're involved in certain groups. So if you're involved in an anti-vaxxer group of parents, let's say, that are anti-vaccine, Facebook sees that you're part of that group and says, "Ooh, that's kind of an outlier opinion." It'll then start suggesting to you different conspiracy theories that they think that you might believe. It doesn't know it's a conspiracy theory. It just knows it's an outlier opinion, and said you have one of those opinions, maybe you have this one too. So all of a sudden you're an anti-vaxxer parent and you're starting to get fed flat earther videos on your YouTube because you're watching anti-vaxxer videos, or you're now being invited to the lizard people Facebook group. They perpetuate it because they think that you're going to be interested in that topic.
Right, all with the intention of keeping you on the platform to keep scrolling.
Yeah.
Straight up.
And that's the thing is the AI and the computers don't know that these are conspiracy theories, don't know that these aren't real things.
Right.
It just knows that you have a high chance of liking it, essentially.
Right. So it could be, technically it could be that with any topic where they link you more videos or feed you the similar topics to keep you engaged.
Oh my gosh, this is very random, but it's not that off topic. So Cory and I had watched the movie, and that night I was Googling barbershops for him to go get his beard trimmed and shaped and whatever. Then I went on Facebook the next day, and what was one of the recommended videos for me? A barber video.
Oh, hell yeah.
That's weird.
I know. It's crazy. Google's really good at saving your interest, though.
Holy smokes.
Google's really good.
Yeah.
If you Google something, they got you, boy. You're done.
I know. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Google also gives you different answers depending on where in the world you're located. So if you Google climate change is, depending on what age they believe you are and where in the world you live, you'll be given different things that pop up to fill in that sentence.
That is crazy.
Like, that's not based on... It's like, what?
Yeah, like, what? What? It's okay, that guys, because climate change is different for everyone, okay? Sometimes it exists. Sometimes it doesn't exist. It's whatever it is to you, because the truth is subjective now. So, yeah. All right. Another topic that this docudrama went into is how it affects teens, because how it affects teens is probably more important and far more dangerous than it does older people.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, because teenagers now, the Gen Zers, they're the first kids to grow up, like, to go to middle school and have social media. Like, when we were in school, I mean, what? I was a senior in high school and I got my first Facebook profile. How old were you when you got social media?
I mean, I was 16. I had a MySpace, yo.
Oh, I wasn't allowed to have a MySpace.
Yeah, MySpace is where it all began. It's like MySpace, man, where you could, like, have best friends and you could rank them and people would get pissed at you. And then you could do all these coding. Like, actually, to be honest, the people who use MySpace are way smarter than people who use Facebook. Because on MySpace, you had to do all your own coding to make that shit look cool.
I do remember that, yeah.
Bro, like, MySpace was so much more intricate. Granted, it was after a while, it was a whole bunch of pedophiles just searching for kids.
Oh, wonderful.
No, it was straight up. That's
really?
What. Yeah, if like MySpace before the end, all it was is a whole bunch of pedophiles and a whole bunch of like alternative bands. Like, that's all it was.
Ew.
Yeah. Like,
I did not know that.
Yeah, 100%. It was cool while it lasted. Yeah, then Facebook came and slapped its dick down on top of that, and that was pretty much it.
Oh, jeez.
It was all over from there.
Yeah. But, I mean, yeah, we didn't get social media until we were in high school, where our brains were actually, like, sort of kind of developed.
Right, it's not like you could use your phones for them anyways.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Like,
our cell phones didn't have the capability to log into Facebook.
Right, it's not like you had smartphones. I didn't even get, like, actual smartphones until, the iPhone 3 or 4 or something? I don't even remember, but it wasn't very early that you could actually use these platforms on your phones anyways. They weren't smart enough.
Yeah, so we barely used it.
Yeah.
I mean, you had to log in from home, like, on your giant computer.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel so bad for kids now because they grow up with it. Like, all these middle school kids have social media, which I think is bizarre and should not be a thing. Why does a middle schooler need Facebook?
They don't.
Or Instagram, or, like, especially Instagram. Some, like, 12-year-old girl does not need Instagram. The statistics that the movie cited were insane, especially with teenage girls. They said the U.S. hospital admissions for non-fatal self-harm was up from 2011 from 15 to 19-year-olds, 62%, which is bad. For 10 to 14-year-olds, it was 189% up, like, increased.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's insane. Like, how do you not look at that and be like, there's no way I want my child to have social media? And that was just in the non-fatal. Like, that's when they didn't actually kill themselves. For suicide rates, 15 to 19 went up 70%. And then 10 to 14 went up 151%.
Yeah, that's insane.
That's
that's
bad.
That's suicide rates, right?
That's suicide.
Yep.
That's like fulfilled suicide.
Yeah, it's like it's almost looks like an exponential curve when you look at it on a graph. It is insane looking.
Yeah.
Guys.
Well, I mean, they shouldn't have that. These girls are getting social media so young and then comparing themselves to everyone.
Yeah.
Seeing who liked or hearted their picture, who commented on it. Like my little sister the other night. She posted a picture on Instagram and all the comments were her friends being like, "Oh my God, so pretty. Fire emoji. I want to be you. You're beautiful." It's looks like they're hyping each other up, but it's all superficial.
It's all superficial. It's like unrealized expectations. It's like, do you think any of these people really care that you took a photo,
like
and
a selfie,
and then threw a filter on it and posted it on there? Like, everyone knows that it's not how you actually look.
Yeah.
And no one actually cares. that you're posting this photo. But everyone's doing it for each other because it's like some sort of insecure collective.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
Yeah, and it's especially scary for like teenagers because they don't understand what they're doing.
No.
Like they don't understand the effects it has on them.
Mm-hmm. Well, in the movie, they were talking about how teenagers this day and age take less risks. And they associated that back to them having social media. So less of them get driver's licenses, less of them go on dates. I'm like, that's so sad. They have less romantic encounters, and it's because of social media.
Yeah, it's like this sense that they actually get fulfilled from social media, that they don't have to do any of this stuff anymore.
Like, they don't have to go out into the world because they just watch other people live it.
Right, it's crazy, man.
Messed
What
up.
the hell? Wouldn't you rather fail at doing something in the real world and at least having the experience than not doing it at all?
But they don't know that because they grew up with social media.
Well, or no, they're using the social media so they don't have to because they're
That's
insecure
true.
and anxious about doing it.
Yeah, that's true. They also said that teenagers now have more anxiety and more mental disorders than any generation growing up.
And then we talk about the digital pacifier.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
exactly what we're talking about.
For sure. Which I do notice. Like, anytime you feel uncomfortable in a situation, what do? You pull your phone out. If you have to go someplace by yourself and you have to wait in line, you pull your phone out. Like, it's just something that everyone does because your phone makes you feel more comfortable.
Right, and also especially for attention spans, you know?
Oh,
the
yeah.
complete lack of attention spans. It's like you're self-medicating yourself on any problem that you foresee. The phone fixes for you. Mm-hmm. It's so unhealthy.
Yeah. I have noticed when I'm walking around the mall on my lunch breaks or something, or if I'm standing in line somewhere at the gas station, I will purposely either leave my phone at the store or leave it in my pocket if I'm listening to something. I want to pull it out. And I'll be like, no, I don't need to pull my phone out right now. It's become habitual.
Well, and you're going to have to retrain yourself
to not do it.
Right? Because you're so used to doing it that now, like, your body recognizes it and it is sort of an addiction.
Oh, for sure.
To like pull it out and you like realize, oh, like I'm doing it again. Oh, I'm doing it again. Oh,
yeah.
And then when you're not pulling it out, you think about pulling it out. Mm-hmm. It's like it's a real addiction.
Yeah. Well, they said social media is more addictive than gambling. That's concerning.
Yeah,
we only
a little
let
bit.
18 and older gamble, but
Yeah.
we're letting 14-year-olds gamble via social media
with something they don't have a full working understanding of.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it is addicting. Before watching this movie, I'm bored, so I'll just scroll on Instagram, and I thought I had a healthy relationship with social media. Like, I never catch myself really comparing myself to other girls or anything like that, like body image wise.
Right,
like,
but it's further than that. It's not just that. There's
yeah,
so
but
much
no,
more.
it goes so much further than that, and I didn't realize that until watching this movie. I was like, oh yeah, I'm slightly addicted to social media and to my phone.
Right. And then what do you think about YouTube for kids?
Oh my gosh, I completely forgot about that. Yeah. It's just so bad for kids. How they lay it out in the movie is great. Tristan talks about how, when you grew up watching cartoons, did you ever see any like lewd commercials or commercials in general, really? Unless it was like for freaking Danimals or Cheetos.
Yeah, not really.
No, it's because they put rules into place for broadcasters that they couldn't advertise to those age groups. Which is a smart thing. Like, you're protecting the children. You're protecting them from these ads. You don't want them to be subjected to certain material. But now you have YouTube for kids and all these other platforms, and they don't have any of those protections. So YouTube for kids, I mean, a parent doesn't pay attention. They just hand their kid their iPad and just, like, watch, I don't know, Peppa the Pig. And then mom doesn't realize that Susie May's getting, like, a Trojan condom commercial.
Yeah.
Like, these kids are being subjected to all this different material, and their parents aren't paying attention. They don't see it. Like, they don't notice.
And that's an entirely different issue of parents being absent from their children's lives, but that's part of the reasons why that they're having these issues as well.
Oh, yeah. Especially with, like, those bad actor YouTube videos that were coming up on YouTube for kids with some really messed up stuff.
Right.
And they're like, oh, we're just going to improve our algorithm. We're going to improve our algorithm. Your algorithm doesn't know if someone's trying to be a bad person and show kids morally wrong things.
Right, exactly.
Like, AI doesn't know morals.
Right.
You can't fix that.
And that actually brings up like the intentions versus actuality when it comes to the designers of these platforms on top of it. Like, they never meant for it to be harmful.
No, not at all. I felt kind of sad. The co-founder of the like button, he's on this documentary, and he was talking. He's like, I never intended it for it to be like this, for teenagers to feel uncomfortable because they didn't get enough likes, or for likes to be used for you to make more money. He's like, we created it because we wanted someone to spread positivity and oh, that's awesome, like good for you, or like, hey, like you're doing a good job. It was never their intention, and that's what happened. It just got taken way far out of context. Same with the guy who invented the recommendations function on YouTube. He is in it, and he talks about, he's like, I didn't want this to happen. He's like, I wanted it to recommend videos for people like, hey, you like this dance video? Here's another dance creator maybe you didn't know about. It was all pure intentions.
Right.
And same with Facebook. What was originally created for? For you to stay in touch with friends and coworkers and classmates and family members. They never intended it for it to be this extremely addictive, manipulative machine that it turned into.
Right, and that could be said for any tool that is created, right?
Oh yeah.
It's like, think of guns. Think of like the internet itself. It's a tool to be utilized for good, but you also have people that will utilize it for the bad things as well.
Yeah.
Same thing with social media. You can use it for good and you can use it for bad. And like, obviously we're seeing the bad outcomes because the algorithms have taken it to a level that's unhealthy for people.
Yeah. Well, and they just keep adding more algorithms and smarter algorithms on top of it. Like, they haven't done anything to slow the process. There was a quote that I loved from the movie. It was really creepy. It said, there's two industries that call their customers users: illegal drugs and software.
That's scary.
That's messed up.
Well, it's true too.
It is true. It is true. They call you users because you're addicted to it.
Yeah. Another fantastic quote from the docudrama was, if you are not paying for the product, you are the product.
Oh, yeah. That one really got me.
Yeah, that is, well, specifically for you maybe, but yes. And here's the thing. I don't know if I'd pay for it. If they forced you to pay for all this stuff, I would delete it all, I think.
I don't think I'd pay for it either.
I would delete it all. That's funny. I think I would delete it. I don't think I would have any of it.
Yeah, I don't think I'd pay for it.
Yeah.
No, I don't pay for any apps.
Yeah, I would.
I pay for Color Widget Smith or
Oh,
whatever.
Jesus.
I think I
Wow.
paid like $5 to have that. But no, I don't pay for anything. So I don't even pay for Patreons or anything like that to follow certain people.
Yeah, neither do I.
Yeah,
Nothing like
I
that.
definitely wouldn't pay
Yeah.
for it. That's like Dave Rubin. He has his own social media platform, and it sounds really cool, and it sounds like a great idea, but you have to pay for it, so I won't get it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. At least these texts have a positive note. You know, the dissenters, they have a positive note for everyone, saying, like, there is light at the end of the tunnel. They've recognized it. People have recognized it, and there are things you can do.
Yeah, and people are especially noticing more and more and more, like with the Senate hearings and with the elections. Like, people are getting wiser and smarter and starting to like see through some of the manipulation. And I think this movie for sure showed it too. And it was nice. They showed, it's weird that they are showing you ways to get past their technology that they specifically designed. But it's all to like better you. Like, they talk about uninstalling apps that you either spend too much time on or you don't need to be on.
A good idea to help yourself wean off is just turn off notifications. You know, a lot of these notifications that are sent to you are specifically created to keep you on these platforms.
To get you to log back in.
Yeah, to get you to log back in. And you don't need that. You
No.
know, you don't need the constant reminder.
It's random notification being like, so-and-so is now live on Instagram. I don't really care.
Right.
But you sent me the notifications, so I'm going to click on it. Now you're back on the app.
Right.
So yeah, that one is super important. Same with following different points of view and creating space for conversations. Realizing that you are in an echo chamber and you need to diversify your news from either like big platforms, small creators, like having multiple news sources also on different sides of the political spectrum. So you're getting a healthy dose of what both sides saying, and then you can form your own opinion and have conversations with people. I think is just super, super important.
Obviously, we can talk about having social media for kids. I would just cut that shit out.
No.
Completely. They don't need it. If you're a parent, trust me, they will be mad, but in the long run, they will be grateful for what you did for them.
Yeah.
Because it's just not healthy.
No. I mean, and when I was in high school, I got mine when I was 18. I think that was fine.
Yeah, I mean, you're an adult.
Like, I was an adult at that point. But, like, my sisters, I think, got social media when they got into high school. But my mom said the rule is I have to have all of your logins so I can log into your social media at any time. That was really beneficial because she could see what they were doing as high school students on social media.
Yeah, I think that helps.
Like,
but even now, though, like, do you really think that, for example, McKenna and, like, some of the stuff that they do on social media is healthy? The amount of time that McKenna spends is insane.
Yeah, like, I don't think my siblings should be on social media as much as they are. I think they should have some budgeted time for social media, and they should be like, yeah, you hit your hour for the day. You don't need more than an hour on social media.
Yeah, like the fact that I watched this docudrama and thought of your siblings, it was bad.
I know. Well, you don't have younger siblings.
I don't?
Well, okay, not like young. Your sisters are both adults.
Oh, well, I'm old, bro.
I mean, like, you don't have, obviously, you have younger siblings. You have 2 younger siblings. I meant... Sorry, girls. I meant that you don't have, like, young siblings. Yeah. Like, teenage siblings.
Yeah.
And budgeting time for yourself, too. I have done several of these, and I've noticed a very big difference, and I'm going to keep up with it.
Yeah, I think it's good. How much social media time did you have before you realized how bad it was?
I had 45 hours a week.
Bro, 45 hours in 1 week. That's 2 entire days of just scrolling on social media of your life.
I know. Yeah. I don't realize it. I get on there in the morning. I wake up. I check my phone. I check Facebook. I check Instagram. I sit on TikTok for 20 minutes before I get ready for work. Sometimes I'll watch TikToks like on my way to work. And then I would watch TikTok on my lunch or social media on my lunch, or if I'm bored at work or I'm in the office on a conference call, I scroll. I was on social media a lot.
So you have put in time restraints on all of these?
Oh, yeah. So I turned off all notifications for absolutely everything, and it's amazing. I love it. I love not having notifications. I think that was a huge trigger for me, was seeing my phone light up with notification, and I could not help myself but click on it. So no notifications has been phenomenal. It was really weird for the first day, but I've gotten used to it. And then I gave myself budgets. So I have an hour total a day for Instagram and Facebook. So like between the two, I only get 1 hour. And you can set this all up on your phone. Like my phone tells me, oh, you have 5 minutes of your daily allowance left. And then when I hit that allowance, this little hourglass pops up and say, you've reached your time limit. And it says either okay, which you can click on and it exits you out of the app, or you can say ignore and then you can click to have another 15 minutes. But it makes you sit on that page. It feels like forever. It's probably like 45 seconds to a minute. But it makes you sit there and actually think about, do I really need more social media? So when that pops up, I'm like, no, all right, I'm done for the day. And I'll log off. So an hour on Instagram and Facebook, cumulative. 2 hours on TikTok a day. However, I've been doing this for over a week now, and I've only gone on TikTok on my days off.
Very nice.
Which I like.
Very nice.
I have a lot of free time now.
Yes.
Which
that's
is
good. To be
bad.
more productive.
I know.
It's bad to have more free time?
No, it's bad. No, it's bad to think about the fact that I spent 2 days a week on social media for the past how many years? And I had no idea. I wasn't paying attention. The past week, I've gotten up for work. I make coffee and I drink my little ketone water, and then I sit down and I read a book. And then I'm like, oh, I'll get ready for work. I'm listening to a podcast or some music, and I listen to podcasts or music on my way to work. And I am not on social media at all. And when I come home from work, if Cory's gaming or if he's not here, I either start watching a TV show or I pick up a book and I read. Like, I have so much more free time and I feel so much more productive. I don't feel like a zombie.
That's good. It's like we're finding ways to be more productive humans in society.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
Creating, good habits mentally and physically.
Great habit.
How much social media time do you think I have?
This is such BS. Such BS, because Cora's like, I feel like I probably have a lot racked up. Tell them how much Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever you had racked up.
I have a total of less than 2 hours every single week for the whole week.
A week?
2 hours, guys. That's it. Because most of my time is consumed with gaming in my free time. So I just don't have time to sit on my phone and do social media. I'm not interested in it. I've realized over the years that it is not healthy anyways, so I use it simply to communicate with people that are important to me, and that is it.
Yeah.
That and a little bit of entertainment, but that not much. No posting, no scrolling, nothing like that for me.
You are an old man, though, and we found out that you spent 5 hours on Fidelity.
Well, that's I do have an addiction. I do have a dopamine pop from
your stocks.
Working on stocks, yeah.
Your stonks.
My stonks. My stonks. But yeah.
Old man alert.
But yeah, it's fine. I'd rather be addicted to making money than not. So. But I hope you all enjoyed this movie club review of The Social Dilemma. If you want to freak out as much as we did, go on Netflix and watch it. Comment on our Facebook and let us know what you thought of that movie.
Yes.
It freaked me out.
It freaks me out, but I feel that I'm a lot better now.
Right. More productive for sure.
Oh, definitely. I think it's something that everyone should watch and then learn from. We all watch it and we'll all get a little bit better.
Our next episode, remember, bi-weekly show uploads on Wednesdays, and our next episode is on March 31st, 2021, where we'll have your next monthly scoop, of course.
Yes, for sure. Also, check out our affiliate link for Instacart. You can order your groceries for delivery through their app. They will text you if they're out of your product and offer suggestions. They will also not give you shitty produce, which other people do. I'm not going to say names. Thanks so much for listening. Follow us on all socials at Strive Nation Pod. And don't forget to like and subscribe.
Feel free to show your support and check out our Patreon. And remember, when the world is upside down, Strive Nation's right side up. Have a good one, guys.
Bye.